Mortal Kombat has been hiding one of gaming's strangest graveyards for 30 years. Fully filmed actors, completed character models, promotional screenshots, and even licensed guest fighters were all cancelled before reaching players. Some died from time constraints, others from corporate bankruptcy, and a few from licensing disasters that collapsed at the last second. That's why today, I'm breaking down every single cancelled Mortal Kombat character and what actually happened to them, starting with the world champion kickboxer who never got digitized, the Kickboxer. John Tobias wanted to digitize a real world champion for Mortal Kombat 2, and not just any fighter, but Kathy Long, the 5-time world kickboxing champion who just finished serving as Michelle Pfeiffer's stunt double in Batman Returns. Tobias described her in interviews as someone he "0.1." The character was conceptualized as a brunette in pink with a traditional kickboxing fighting style. Long herself was extraordinary. She held black belts in Aikido, master rank in Kung Fu Sansu, and trained Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu with the Machado family. In November 1993, she became the first woman to provide octagon-side commentary at UFC 1, the perfect candidate for MK2's roster expansion. But then the character never reached filming. Time constraints during MK2's 1993 development forced the team to cut her before any digitization could occur. The arcade hardware's memory limitations made every roster edition costly. Here's what makes this cancellation different from typical cut content. Tobias specifically named the real person who inspired the character. Most canceled MK fighters exist as vague concepts or unnamed models in game files. This one had a face, a name, and a championship record. Tobias went on record about his admiration for Long as both a martial artist and person, making the cancellation more personal than technical. No concept art survives publicly. No moveset documentation exists, unlike Ermac or Scarlet, who were born from glitches and fan rumors that developers later made real. Long's Kickboxer simply faded into development obscurity without leaving traces in the code or community consciousness. The irony cuts deep. Long commented on actual UFC fights in 1993, while her MK character died in development that same year. But if one world champion getting cut from MK2 seems wasteful, wait until you learn about the demon who appeared in official magazine screenshots before being deleted from the finished game. Belok is the only cancelled Mortal Kombat character to appear in official promotional materials before being permanently deleted. And 25 years later, nobody can agree on why he was cut. Developed by Eurocom for Mortal Kombat Gold's 1999 Dreamcast release, this horned demon reached a substantially playable state. 6 screenshots accidentally sent to Game Informer magazine show him performing uppercuts, throws, and staff strikes. His model shared Goro's distinctive leg structure, suggesting he was built using modified Shokan assets. Both a primary costume and alternate costume appear in the leaked images. Functional gameplay, completed textures, magazine quality screenshots. But then Ed Boon stated he did not like the character, since it wasn't created by MK's core designers. Midway reportedly objected to a non-Midway creation appearing in their flagship franchise. Most significantly, Eurocom owned Belok's intellectual property, making future appearances legally complicated. The character was removed completely from the final game. The legal ownership issue meant even if Eurocom had finished development, Midway couldn't use Belok in future games without licensing him back from the porting studio. That question mark glitch when rotating Tanya's character select icon convinced thousands of players Belok was hidden in the code, accessible through cheat devices. But if a demon with intellectual property disputes seems complicated, wait until you learn about the licensed character who got replaced after data miners found his dialogue files. Ash Williams. The Evil Dead protagonist came closer to joining Mortal Kombat than any other guest character, and after years of evidence, nobody can officially explain what killed the deal. In April 2019, data miner Leonatan discovered Ash Williams' references in Nintendo Switch game files, alongside Fujin and Shiva. Forum user Interloco later shared extensive intro dialogue between Ash and other characters, including Necronomicon references. Some players received in-game notifications listing Combat Pack 1 as Shang Tsung, Nightwolf, Terminator, Ash Williams, Sindel, and Spawn. Google advertisements briefly promoted Ash as DLC. The chainsaw sound at the end of Shang Tsung's reveal trailer matched no announced character, but then Warner Brothers issued takedowns on leaked audio files, confirming their legitimacy by attempting to suppress them. Bruce Campbell revealed the truth at a drive-in Q&A event. Legal crap killed the deal. Campbell's agent was never contacted for voice work despite dialogue files existing in the game. The complicated licensing situation for Evil Dead and Army of Darkness involves multiple studios and rights holders, creating an intractable mess. The Joker replaced Ash in Kombat Pack 1, a swap made seamless because Warner Bros. Owns DC Comics. No licensing negotiations required. Ed Boon has repeatedly mentioned on Twitter that he should get approval to speak about what happened, suggesting the full story remains legally silenced. But if licensing killed one guest character, wait until you learn about the two DLC fighters who died with their publisher's bankruptcy, Quan Chi and Harley Quinn. Mortal Kombat vs. DC Universe planned a significant post-launch DLC that was completely finished, and then the entire company went bankrupt before releasing it. On July 7, 2009, Ed Boon tweeted a completed Quan Chi render with the caption, "Excited about MK9 and WB, but wish we could have released DLC for MK vs. DC." Just weeks earlier, Boon confirmed both Quan Chi and Harley Quinn were all but done, but then the sky fell, and now they are in limbo. Additional planned DLC included Kung Lao, Doomsday, and even Mr. McZeezpidok. Boon mentioned balancing a low fireball attack for the impish Superman villain. File references for Quan Chi were discovered in character packages similar to Brainiac data, but then Midway filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in February 2009. The company's sale to Warner Bros. Created transition complexities that made releasing cross-company DLC impossible. You can't release DC Comics characters as paid DLC when you're currently being sold to the company that owns DC Comics. The characters eventually reached players through different routes. Quan Chi appeared as an NPC in MK vs. DC's story mode and became fully playable in MK9 2 years later. Harley Quinn and Doomsday both debuted in Injustice Gods Among Us in 2013. The MK vs. DC Quan Chi model was reportedly reused for his MK9 appearance, giving the cancelled DLC an unexpected afterlife. But if corporate bankruptcy killed the finished DLC, wait until you learn about the demon whose occult connections proved too controversial to release, Baphomet. Mortal Kombat nearly added a character named directly after the Church of Satan's most recognizable symbol, and the concept art still exists in Deadly Alliance's files. Named after the goat-headed figure associated with the Knights Templar and later adopted by occult imagery, Baphomet represented Midway's most controversial character concept. Classified as an elder demon, a new hierarchy below elder gods, this humanoid with a goat head would have brought real-world occult iconography directly into MK's already controversial universe. Concept sketches remain unlockable in Deadly Alliance's crypt at Coffin BG, requiring 217 sapphire coins, showing the character's distinctive design. His planned race of elder demons was described as darker and more deranged than elder gods. But then the character's connection to actual demonic symbolism killed him. Mortal Kombat already faced constant controversy over violence. Adding what could be interpreted as a real-life demon would have intensified criticism from religious groups and complicated marketing efforts. The developers created Johnny Cage to mock Jean-Claude Van Damme. They turned a glitch into Ermac. They digitized actors doing fatalities with real props. But naming a demon after Baphomet crossed a line even Midway wouldn't approach. The entire elder demon race concept was scrapped alongside him. No expansion of MK mythology below elder gods. No new hierarchy of cosmic entities. His legacy persists subtly. The Netherrealm Kamadogu takes the shape of a demonic head resembling Baphomet's design in later games. The Oni demons Draman and Moloch may have partially inherited his demonic creature concept. But if occult controversy killed one demon, wait until you learn about the character whose design became Reptile's new body, Tiamat. This lizard-like humanoid named after a Babylonian goddess represented significant design investment that never reached full development, and her entire visual concept transferred directly to another character. Concept sketches in Deadly Alliance's crypt reveal a reptilian creature with body armor and distinctly inhuman features, possibly connected to the Dragon King storyline that would feature prominently in Deception. She was named after the Babylonian goddess of the sea, a chaos monster and primordial deity. Her design featured scales, armor plating, and a distinctly alien appearance that departed from MK's ninja aesthetic. But then her visual concept was deemed redundant because it transferred directly to Reptile. Before Deadly Alliance, Reptile maintained a human ninja appearance with green coloring. Starting with MKDA in 2002, he transformed into a genuinely animalistic, reptilian creature, a dramatic redesign that borrowed heavily from Tiamat's original concept. Her body armor elements, facial structure, and overall creature design are visible in Reptile's Deadly Alliance incarnation. This represented a significant shift in MK's approach to the character. Where Reptile previously hid his true nature beneath human guise, the new design embraced his alien saurian heritage openly. Tiamat's Babylonian namesake would have added mythological depth to MK's roster, but her visual identity lives on through Reptile's continuing evolution across multiple games. The Saurian warrior effectively absorbed an entire cancelled character's aesthetic, making Tiamat perhaps the most successfully recycled cut content in MK history. But if one character's design got recycled, wait until you learn about the ninja who spent 2 decades in developmental purgatory before finally becoming playable. Tremor. No character better illustrates the gap between fan demand and development reality than Tremor. And this brown-clad earthquake ninja existed in MK's consciousness for nearly 20 years before becoming fully playable. Tremor appeared in MK Trilogy's instruction manual in a famous error, listed incorrectly as Ermac while depicted as an orange ninja. The N64 version's manual contains Rain's bio reading Rain is an assassin working freelance. He was once a member of the Lin Kuei along with Sub-Zero, but left the clan under mysterious circumstances. This was actually Tremor's bio, accidentally assigned to Rain, but then fans refused to let him disappear. His only early appearance came in MK Special Forces in 2000 as an NPC boss, a brown ninja with earthquake powers who represented a tantalizing glimpse of his potential. He appeared in MK9's PS Vita Challenge Tower missions in 2011, but still not the main roster. A dedicated fan petition finally caught NetherRealm's attention, prompting Ed Boon to respond, "10. He became full DLC in MKX in 2015 with 3 variations: Aftershock, Metallic, and Crystalline. Most recently, he appeared as a cameo fighter in MK1 in 2023, completing his journey from instruction manual error to legitimate combatant. The character spent 19 years as either rumor or NPC before fan demand forced his inclusion. But if Tremor waited decades, wait until you learn about the character who evolved from alternate costume to standalone fighter. SKAB. Havok's origin story reveals how development flexibility can transform cut content into fan-favorite characters, and he first appeared in gaming magazines as the most disgusting fighter Mortal Kombat had ever conceived. Early deception previews showed a character named Scab, described as the most disgusting fighter of all. If you take a closer look, you will see parts from his rotting corpse and a skeleton. Early trailers showed this figure labeled as Noob under the life bar. Crypt concept art at Coffin JF, requiring 217 platinum coins, confirms Havok's model was originally designed as Noob Saibot's alternate costume, but then the team recognized this design deserved independent existence. The unmasked design featured rotting flesh, exposed bone, and a distinctive hood, all elements that would become Havok's signature appearance. The transformation involved separating the character entirely from Noob Saibot. Early Noob alternate outfit concepts showed black, red, and blue clothing with the Japanese word for darkness on the front flap. Those elements stayed with Noob. The hood concept, unmasked design, and chaotic aesthetic migrated to the new character. Havok became the Cleric of Chaos from Chaos Realm, with a fighting style centered on unpredictability and self-mutilation. His fatality, where he rips off his own leg to beat opponents, embodies the rotting corpse concept from his Scab origins. The character proved popular enough to appear as DLC in MK1 in 2023. But if Scab became Havok, wait until you learn about the heroic demon who transformed into a villainous four-armed prince, Rokuro. Before Goro became the four-armed Shokan prince, John Tobias conceived a fundamentally different character, and the original backstory positioned him as sympathetic rather than villainous. According to the Ultimate Guide to Mortal Kombat CDROM, Rokuro was a two-handed humanoid from "12. His people were wrongly "13. The original backstory had him entering the tournament "14, a redemption narrative rather than a villainous one. The name referenced Rokurokubi, creatures from Japanese folklore whose necks stretch at night. But then Ray Harryhausen's stop-motion work changed everything. The legendary animator's multi-armed Kali statue from The Golden Voyage of Sinbad in 1973 influenced the redesign from 2 arms to 4. Rokuro became Gongoro, then simply Goro. Concept sketches by Kurt Chiarelli evolved the hand design from 3 fingers plus thumb to 2 fingers plus thumb. The entire character transformation happened during early development. The sympathetic backstory vanished entirely. Goro became a champion of Outworld, a villain who had killed the previous champion, the Great Kung Lao, and served Shang Tsung loyally. The misunderstood race-seeking respect narrative never appeared in any MK game, though elements of noble warrior culture among the Shokan emerged in later titles through characters like Shiva. But if Goro replaced a sympathetic demon, wait until you learn about the princess who transformed from tournament prize to empowered warrior, Kitsune. John Tobias originally conceived a character named Kitsune with a distinctly passive role during early MK1 development, and her transformation into Katana represents one of MK's most successful character evolutions. Her original role was unplayable. She would be Shang Lao's princess daughter, the spoil of victory for winning the tournament, who would betray her father after falling for Liu Kang. She wielded a single ornamental fan, not 2. The concept drew inspiration from Princess Mariko in Jordan Mechner's Karateka in 1984, a literal prize to be won by the tournament victor. But then development shifted, and Shang Tsung became Shao Kahn's minion for MK2. Kitsune was renamed Kitana, and repositioned as Kahn's stepdaughter rather than Shang Tsung's daughter. Tobias later explained the name was created as a combo of Kitsune and Katana that would sound generically Asian enough for the game's aesthetic. The passive prize-to-be-won concept transformed into an active combatant with her own agency and rebellion arc. During reworking, Tobias drew her with seis instead of fans. Ed Boon suggested creating a palette-swapped duplicate, leading to Mileena inheriting the seis, while Kitana kept the fans. The Kitsune name carries significance in Japanese folklore. Kitsune are fox spirits associated with intelligence and trickery. This mythological connection suits Kitana's eventual characterization as a clever operative who secretly works against Shao Kahn while appearing loyal. But if Kitana evolves successfully, wait until you learn about the HD remake that filmed new actors before Warner Brothers pulled the plug. MK HD Collection. Other Ocean Interactive developed an ambitious HD remake of the original Mortal Kombat trilogy that reached significant completion before cancellation, and the project required entirely new filming sessions with contemporary actors. New actors were photographed in full costume for Shao Kahn, Liu Kang MK2 version, Sonya Yu MK3 version, Stryker Yu MK3 version, and remarkably, a new Kung Lao played by Taylor Choi Marquez, the son of original actor Anthony Marquez. Female ninjas Kitana, Mileena, and Jade were captured in both MK2 and UMK3 versions. Cyborg ninjas, Sector, Cyrax, and Smoke received the same treatment, but then Warner Brothers canceled the project after acquiring Midway. Evidence surfaced gradually across multiple years. In 2011, artist John Montenegro posted menu mockup. In 2012, Test Your Might user Tim Static shared set photos. In 2013, 3D artist Jeremy Kohar's website showed images. In 2014, makeup artist Tanya Brooks posted a photo album of the new actors in costume. Ed Boon even tweeted a screenshot in 2015, promising a future article that never materialized. Warner Brothers deemed the scope too ambitious for the available budget. The extensive documentation and completed filming make this one of gaming's most thoroughly documented canceled projects. A complete visual record of a Mortal Kombat that almost existed, with actors hired, costumes made, and photography sessions completed. But if a fully filmed remake got canceled, wait until you learn about the boss character with a hidden playable moveset the AI never uses. Moloch. Moloch, the massive Oni demon who serves as Deadly Alliance's sub-boss, conceals a secret discovered through action replay codes, and he has a complete unused moveset that his boss AI completely ignores. When accessed through cheat devices, Moloch reveals a full fighting style labeled Netherrealm borrowed from fellow Oni Draman. This proves Moloch was originally planned as an unlockable playable character before being restricted to sub-boss status. Some of his combos function properly while others fail due to his oversized character model. Throws cause game freezing, suggesting the playable version was abandoned before completion rather than fully implemented then hidden. But then balance concerns likely killed his playability. His massive size created hitbox issues that would advantage or disadvantage him unfairly in competitive play. Sub-bosses like Goro and Kintaro faced similar playability challenges throughout MK history. Their impressive scale made them memorable boss encounters encounters but problematic playable fighters. The Netherrealm fighting style connection to Draman implies the two Oni were developed as a paired set. Moloch returned exclusively in Armageddon in 2006, where the Everyone is Playable mandate finally gave him full roster status. His moveset there differs from the Hidden Deadly Alliance version, representing a complete rebuild rather than restoration of cut content. The unused MKDA Netherrealm style remains accessible only through cheating, a ghost of playable potential never officially realized. But these aren't isolated cancellations. Every single one of them connects to something bigger, something that reveals the brutal realities of game development across 3 decades. Kitana's Ghost. MK4's Nintendo 64 version contains a nearly functional katana accessible via GameShark code, and her presence in the code reveals how endings create exploitable loopholes. Her model data remained in the files because Liu Kang's ending uses the in-game engine rather than pre-rendered cutscenes. To display Katana in that ending, her complete model had to exist in the game. With modification using code 800FE2930010US, she becomes playable. The results are imperfect but illuminating. Katana uses Tanya's blackened outfit textures, has a limited moveset, and speaks with male voice clips incorrectly assigned to her. But then selecting her portrait in arcade mode freezes the game. Her fan weapon model remains intact, though no voice file exists for her name announcement. Her exclusion from MK4's base roster reflected time constraints rather than creative decisions. The storyline references her through Tanya's bio, and the official comic book, she remained narratively present while physically absent. Sindel suffered similar conceptual stage cutting, with her storyline elements transferred to Tanya. The discovery of functional Kitana data sparked years of community investigation. Similar partially implemented characters exist in MK4's code, including an unused skull-themed stage accessible through GameShark. These remnants reveal how much content gets cut during final development pushes, complete enough to glimpse but too incomplete to ship. But if Katana almost made MK4, wait until you learn about the character who was cut from multiple games before finally joining the roster, Serena. Few characters demonstrate MK's development chaos like Serena, who was cut from multiple games before finally reaching playable status. And her journey through cancellation after cancellation makes her persistence remarkable. Originally appearing as an NPC in Mortal Kombat Mythology's Sub-Zero in 1997, Serena was considered for MK4's roster but replaced by Fujin. For Deadly Alliance, her 3D model was created after development that she was placed in MK Tournament Edition for GBA instead, a handheld consolation prize. For Deception, she was rumored for the roster but appeared only as a Conquest Mode NPC. 3 consecutive games, 3 consecutive cancellations. But then her narrative complexity may have complicated her inclusion. Her backstory required explaining lore connections spanning multiple games. A demon who turned against her master Quan Chi and fell in love with the elder Sub-Zero Han. Each cancelled appearance refined her design and backstory, building a character arc that crossed multiple timelines and realms. Her beta name was Iya, according to development documentation. Armageddon's Everyone Fights mandate in 2006 finally guaranteed her spot. The game included over 60 fighters specifically to conclude dangling character threads before the timeline reboot. Serena made the cut at last, her patience rewarded after nearly a decade of near misses. She has since appeared in MKX's story mode and comics, her persistent fandom ensuring continued relevance despite her troubled development history. But if Serena waited a decade, wait until you learn about the most recent cancellation that killed an entire content roadmap, Kombat Pack 3. The most recent cancellation affects MK1's 2023 reboot, where a planned Kombat Pack 3 and second story expansion were reportedly scrapped following poor performance. And the evidence suggests 20 total DLC characters were originally planned. Verified leaker Fate Unknown claimed the abandoned content would have included Jade, Cassie Cage, Kung Jin, Sonya, Kano, and an unspecified highly requested guest character. Character models for Cassie Cage, Kung Jin, and Jacqui Briggs appeared at MK1's story conclusion, cameo appearances that seemed to tease future playability. Data miner Interloco found files hinting at new DLC characters. Higher resolution redesigns of Cassie and Kung Jin were discovered compared to their cutscene versions, suggesting development beyond simple story appearances. But then, Chaos Reigns went on sale quickly after its September 2024 release, a warning sign for game health that typically indicates disappointing sales. Multiple sources corroborated cancellation reports. When fans asked Ed Boon about KP3 on Blue Sky, he responded cryptically. When a fan listed numerous requested characters, Boon replied only _. Only Takeda from the Kombat Kids group made the final cut as DLC. NetherRealm's development has reportedly shifted focus to their next project, leaving MK1's roster expansion incomplete. The characters teased in story mode may have to wait for the next Mortal Kombat installment. Sales performance killed what licensing, time constraints, and corporate bankruptcy couldn't touch. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, click the video on screen now.